Hey, Professor Jim here, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Google Analytics and how it affects social media marketing. The key, of course, is that we're driving home two things. The first thing is that you need to be goal or objective based in your marketing, and the second is that you need to measure to see how you're doing. Google Analytics is the gold standard for compiling all of the information to determine how you're doing. So, what is Google Analytics? Well, in a really simplistic way, it's a platform that enables you to track website traffic, user behavior, and conversions based on a bunch of I'll say things that go on behind the scenes inside of your website, like keyword search type things and some coding and things that work back and forth to get things out there and in. Um, GA4 is a really fancy way of saying this is the current platform that Google uses, and they offer the ability to go across platforms for measurement in order to figure out what's going on across all of either the search platforms that are out there or your social media platforms and get them to all tie together. It does give you some social media insights. You have to kind of point it and tell it, but it's important because if you are building social media plans and you're asking people to do something, one of the best ways to track all of that is to have it go to a landing page or have a specific phone number to call, which Google can track and give you the data. And then lastly, um, we're going to continue to focus on things that are actionable. So our KPIs need to be things like revenue attribution. How much money can we attribute to our campaigns? And customer lifetime value, which is a new term for us this week, which is basically what's the cost of a customer, one to acquire, and two, how much money can we get for them from their lifetime. So when we're setting up the Google Analytics, the first thing you need to do is set up an account, and it works pretty much like every other Gmail account. You go in there, you create the account, you start putting together the um, websites and pages and things that you want it to track. And then once you get all of that, then you start moving a little bit deeper into getting the tracking code set up. So the tracking code, which they call the UTM, enables you to drop code into things like your URLs so that you know exactly where your leads came from, or you know exactly how that um, campaign is generating traffic to your website or generating volume and sales. And then what's neat about Google is that it pulls everything back into a really simple dashboard. And then you can customize what you're interested in. If you're just interested in views and likes and shares, you can segment that. If you're only interested in the performance of one of the different platforms that you're using and that campaign, you can do that. It also gives you this really big world of SEO in here. So, search engine optimization, which enables you to kind of piggyback on what's going on with your social media by getting into Google searches, quite honestly, the keyword searches and things like that. So, if you're running a campaign and you're tying um, let's say Passover Easter into it. It's hashtag Passover, hashtag Easter. People are searching for Easter bakery goods. You are a bakery, it pops up. So it enables you to help you, obviously figure out how to sell more. So again, we started talking quickly about this UTM, and like I said, it's a coding thing that enables you to do five or six different things. One is kind of the tracking that goes on from your website to social media. Another is from social media back to the website. There's five main levers. We don't need to get real deep into that. If you Google UTM tagging, it'll give you all of the information that you need. Um, it also tells you some of the, I would say, acquisition insights. Who's coming, right? Who's coming to the party? Your user demographics and how they're being engaged and for how long. Super, super important for you to figure out your audience. The segmentation also gets split into who's doing it on their own versus who'd you pay to come see you. Why is that important? Because you want to make sure that your dollar investments are working, and then long term, you want to make sure that your organic or your native social traffic is growing. Right? I want more people to come to me because they want to come to me, not because I'm paying for them to come to me. And then obviously at the end, it's all looking at ROI, your return on investment. So I think some core metrics for social media marketing is the usuals, right? Sessions, how many times do they come? How long do they stay? Bounce rate, how many users are coming? How many people become browsers into users? Conversions. It really tells you how they're coming in and what they're doing. And then I think that there's something specific to social media. Again, we're going to look at referred traffic, which would be people that were maybe on our social media that came to our website or vice versa, right? Because remember, at the bottom of the website, you may have follow us at um, Twitter. Click on the X, boom, sends it there. They measure things like that. And then it also helps you with understanding what drives optimization in terms of engagement and meeting your business goals, right? It's one thing to say, oh, people liked our stuff. It's another say that people liked our stuff and bought it. In a business, we're in the business to make money. We're not in the business necessarily just to make people like our stuff. So we want to focus on that. So when we think about conversion tracking and return on investment, obviously we talked ad nauseum in class about goals. Goals are super important. You need to have a goal, then you need to have a business objective. The goal and business objective need to align inside of your mission and vision, and then you need to figure out what they are, right? So sometimes a campaign is awareness, other times a campaign is a purchase. Sometimes it's just I need a mailing list, right? A coming soon type thing. So you want to work on that. Then from there, you want to look at how are they accessing it. So are they using it with a laptop? Are they coming on a tablet? Are they using my or a cell phone? What does this stuff look like? How does it perform? How are all the links working? So if I'm on my iPhone and I want to go follow this, how's it look on the phone? But also how do the links work? Do they get to where they need to go and do they look right? And then you can look at things where you do some behind the scenes tagging and some modeling to see what works. Maybe I'm talking about a specific topic, and the first time I post it, I send it to Facebook, see how that link works or see how that tag works. And then the next time, maybe I send it to Instagram and see if either by using the same content, how's it work, or by taking some learnings from the first time, do I, get more. And then return on investment obviously is really simple. If you think you're going to make $1,000 and you're by spending 100, if you don't make $1,000, it didn't work. But it does help you figure this stuff out based on the parameters that you dump into the Google Analytics system. And then always you could go deeper. I'm a marketing person. I really want to know who my audiences are. So again, target audience segmentation and actual user audience segmentation. Some people like to see, what drove the conversion. What got to what they call last click, which is to buy. What were the touch points that did that? What were the call to actions? What were the hot buttons or keywords? And then other times you can use things, I always feel like it's kind of like the Salesforce model where you're using multi channels and you're funneling them in. Which channels work, which channels don't, which ones are, organic and working really well, which ones do you have to pay to get them to do something. And then you always want to continue to try to optimize, right? You're always improving as a marketing person. Every time I run a campaign, about a week after it, I look at it and I'm like, this is garbage. And I try to come up with the tweak because the tweak is where the sale is. And then some pitfalls, right? We talked about this. All of the social media platforms reward consistency. So does Google Analytics. The more consistent you are with your verbiage, the more consistent you are with your tags, your UTMs, the better. Your customization of your dashboard. It's the data is all there, but you have to put what you want to see into the dashboard. Otherwise, you're just seeing generic stuff that may not matter to you. You want to make sure that you're not neglecting tags that work, that you're not misinterpreting the data. You're so optimistic, all data looks good to you. Well, that's not true. Not all data is good. And then you want to stop focusing on vanity and you want to focus on meaningful, right? So it's not likes and shares, it's sales, right? We're in a sell based world if we're doing this for business. And then you want to continually learn and adapt, right? I'm not great at Google Analytics. I know how to use it. Um, People on my marketing team would need to be really good at it. They need to stay on top of it. They got to keep the certifications and things like that. I need to be good enough that I could ask really good questions, but not necessarily the person that's in there, doing the typing. But you, in the beginning of your career, definitely need to know how it all works. So that's quick today. Want to just give a high level overview. If you are interested, go to the Google Analytics website and dive into it. It's fascinating, and I think you'll have a lot of fun. This is Professor Jim, and we were just talking about Google Analytics and how to kind of turn it into money. Take care.